What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, bringing home the bacon, NFL DFS video or your season-long NFL video for Week 3. We're going to go through our Week 3 rankings. Now, these are as of early Wednesday morning. We still have a lot of game time decisions. We still have a lot of players that are questionable, that are tagged to game time decision or did not practice so far. And this is what I'll tell you. We throw these rankings together and we put them out on Wednesdays. And then we update them on Sunday mornings a few hours before lineup lock. We kind of try to wait until, see how they did during the weekend, see how they did during the week, if they practiced throughout the week or if they did not, or if it is truly a game time decision, that'll be what it comes down to. So my suggestion is go check out all of these rankings. All of them will be in the description of this video. We're going to go through the top 10 at each position. Quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and tight end. Defense, we can look at, but, defenses for DFS are kind of hit or miss depending on the matchups there. So we're going to check out the top 10. Then we're going to check them out on DraftKings just to see how they did last week. And that'll be that. If this video gets at least 50 likes, someone will win a free week of DFS content. If this video gets 100 likes, someone will win a free month. If the video gets 125 likes, someone will win a free year pass. And if any one of our videos get 150 likes, someone will win a lifetime pass. So if you find this video helpful or useful, let us know. Leave a comment so you have a chance to be chosen if we do hit those views and likes. So on top of that, we have the rankings on the website. We have FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out. It's right here, right in front of you. FTA Plus, $24.99 for a month, or $199 for a year, or $499 for a lifetime pass. So 150 likes, you get a $500 value for just liking a video and leaving a comment. So that being said, go check it out. We have sports betting. We have MLB, MMA, NASCAR, NFL, PGA. We have it all. We have a Discord channel. We have, in the description is our DraftKings weekly league where it's $10 to get in. There's 200 available spots. First week, we had 9 lineups in there. Last week, we had 4. So it's $10 to get in. If you guys want to get in, I made it for you. I made it for the people. If you play on DraftKings, get in. Let's have some fun as well. So if you play on DraftKings starting this week in our league and you win the league for the week, if you get first place, you win a free week of content. So go check it out. So that being said, we are going to look at our rankings here. Love Patrick Mahomes. I love his matchup against Justin Fields in a very beatable and bad defense in the Chicago Bears. On top of that, if you haven't seen the other videos that we've put out, we're going to be doing depending on when you watch this video, it might already be out, but we're going to be doing a breakdown of Thursday Night Football, the matchup, and the showdown that you can look at. And then if you're going to be looking for even more on that, and we did it last week, I think the video went out on Saturday. I can't remember when the video went out, but the video will be out earlier on for the whole week of the just breaking it down. So we'll have a video for just Thursday Night Football, and then we'll have a video for every other game. And we do have 2 more games on Monday Night Football that we will break down, and then we'll just break those down separately. So there'll be 3 different breakdown videos this week, so I'm very excited about that. So that being said, like I just said, Patrick Mahomes leads the way. Was not a big a shootout as everyone had anticipated. The over-under was 51 going into that game. I think they scored 26 total. Kind of crazy. They looked terrible at the beginning. So just kind of looking at this. Now this will change. This will change a little bit depending on if you go ahead and, practice has to go the rest of the week. There, injuries, illnesses do pop up. But number 1 right now, Patrick Mahomes versus the Chicago Bears. Just jumping into it real quick. He's 8,300, so he is expensive. He's got a fantastic matchup here. Chicago Bears defense ranks 27th out of 32 against the quarterback. 16th against the run, so he's a mobile quarterback. That's even a plus. Overall, they rank 26th against as a defense. everything set. But this is the problem. It's Travis Kelce, and then who are you going to pair him up with? So that is the only kind of thing that I'm looking at. We have back-to-back 20-plus fantasy point outings out of him, which is what we need. I think he probably has his best game this week as long as, he's got all of his pass catchers to go with. Obviously, Travis Kelce's back. We saw that I believe he was targeted 9 times last weekend, caught 4 of them, so not the best. But he's getting into game mode. Patrick Mahomes is number 1 here, but he will cost you. Number 2, Jalen Hurts. Now, Jalen Hurts, I believe, is on Monday night. Let's just put it here. Jalen Hurts is on Monday Night Football versus Tampa Bay. We saw he first week didn't do a lot, 13.5. Last week had his way with Minnesota defense. Now, looking at that, threw for 193 yards with a touchdown, also ran for 35 yards and had 2 rushing touchdowns on Thursday Night Football. So he's kind of right back where he's getting. If he doesn't get you in the air, he'll get you those fantasy points on with his basically on his back, on his feet. He's going up against Tampa Bay. They're pretty good against the run. They've only averaged 54 yards per game. Again, it's a lot of these numbers are going to be a little bit skewed because it's only been 2 weeks. But overall, he has a great matchup that I absolutely love here. It's Monday Night Football. If you're playing, just the Monday slate, you've got 2 games, a way better slate than what we had in week 1 or week 2. And then obviously the Nick Chubb injury, and it kind of all went downhill. The defenses were more than the offensive players. So looking at that, I love some Jalen Hurts at number 2. Number 3 is Josh Allen. Everyone was against Josh Allen after week 1. He showed why he is Josh Allen. His game last week was double 10 more points than he had in week 1. Win against Vegas, 31 completions on 37 attempts for 274 yards and 3 touchdowns. He also ran the ball, not much, 3 attempts for 7 yards. So there wasn't much going on with rushing, but we look at this. He's going up against Washington defense here. They're giving up about 195 yards per game in 2 games, ranked 12th. Rushing 109 yards per game. So if their rushing game is not on, we could see Josh Allen running the ball. So I absolutely love Josh Allen here at number 3. Number 4 is Justin Herbert. Now, we know that Eckler was out last week. We kind of saw what we expect out of Justin Herbert. He's got Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen feasted. He is the sole reason that, and outside of I had Saquon before he got hurt. Justin Herbert threw it enough to Allen to keep me 2-0 on the week, or on the year so far. Hit really good game last week, 27 for 41, 305 yards, had 2 touchdowns, had 1 rushing attempt for 0 yards. So nothing going on in the rushing game. Still had 25.2 fantasy points. He is 7,500. He's going up against a Minnesota defense that just got shredded by Jalen Hurts, which I absolutely love. Justin Herbert is not the same runner as Jalen Hurts, but that is fine. I absolutely love this matchup. If their run game is down, which they're averaging 166 yards per game on the just on the floor right there. They rank 29th there. Overall, they rank 17th. They're giving up 27 passing attempts per game. Or that's points allowed. They're giving up passing attempts. They're giving up 27 points allowed per game, which we could see that easily in this game. So that is why I've got Justin Herbert right here at number 4. Number 5 is Lamar Jackson. Really just depends. He's going up against Indy's defense. Depending if, the whole Richardson, if Richardson's out, then it's Minshew, and if it's Minshew and then maybe Indy's playing from behind, then Lamar Jackson might already be up. We might be playing conservative depending on the score. Jackson is questionable right now. Had a stinger in his left hand. He probably should play. I think he's just going to have this questionable tag all week. He's going up against Indy. We saw he had 22.8 fantasy points last week against Cincy. 24 for 33, had 237 yards, a touchdown, had 12 rushing attempts for 54 yards. We look at matchups. They're, ranked 25th, so Indy's defense has been giving up, 25.5 points per game so far through 2 weeks. I love Lamar Jackson here. Obviously, we've probably got to pair it up with Mark Andrews. The running back situation's a wasteland there. Then it depends. Is it OBJ? Is it Zay? Which wide receivers are going to have a field day with it? And if you want to dig in, you want to look at we're going to go through matchup by matchup. We're going to look at the plays. We're going to look at the DVP from both FanDuel and DraftKings. That is in the matchup. It's kind of like what we do with MLB. If you know what we do with the MLB and you missed it last week, we're bringing it to you every single week, and I hope you like it. It takes a lot of time. So any likes on the videos, sharing the videos, clicking on the ads, signing up for FTA Plus, donating money, everything helps the channel. I would suggest if you want to donate, the Cash App is down below, or you can hit me up on email to kind of donate that way, because YouTube takes 30% of revenue right off the top. So depending on what you send, it's 30% right off the top. So I do love that everyone has subscribed to us. We've got a lot of people subscribe. Once we hit 10,000 YouTube subs, someone will win a lifetime pass, or I'm going to give 2 lifetime passes away. If we can get that very soon, that would be awesome. So that being said, that is why I have Lamar Jackson number 5. Number 6 is Tua. As long as he can stay healthy. Currently, right now, he has overtaken Patrick Mahomes as the MVP favorite right now. As of the making of the video, I don't know if it's changed depending on when you watch this, but love his matchups here. As long as he can stay healthy and he's got his pass catchers. TYREEK did drop a few passes last week. Last week he had a 70% completion percentage, 21 for 30, 249 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 4 rushing attempts for 3 yards, but he did have 2 fumbles. That is where the points were down. So week 1 he had 32. Last week he had 13 because he did have those 2 fumbles against New England. 7,600 is his salary. He has dropped down to 7,000 from. He's dropped down 600 since this past week, but I still like him. In 2 games, he has 700 yards already. 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He's averaging 22.7 fantasy points on DraftKings. I love Tua here at number 6. Number 7 is Trevor Lawrence. Now, he was my number 1 quarterback last week after the Thursday Night Football. Thursday Night Football, we had Jalen Hurts as my number 1. Then when we update them on Sundays, obviously we take out the people that are out, and then we take out the players that have already played the Thursday Night Football, and that took Jalen out. So then we were ready to go with Trevor Lawrence because it was supposed to be a back-and-forth 51 over-under. Game script said that Kansas City was going to be up, and Jacksonville would be playing from behind, which they were, but we didn't get the Trevor Lawrence that I thought we would get. He had a good matchup against Kansas City, 216 yards, had no touchdowns. There were a couple of drop touchdowns, or they didn't get their feet in, so he should have had at least 2. We know he can run, and he's going up against Houston's defense now. They're ranked 29th out of 32. They're giving up 28 points per game here. They're averaging 191 yards per game. But overall, I do love Lawrence's matchup here. That's why I've got him here at number 7. Number 8 is Kirk Cousins. He's throwing the ball up a ton. We expect that. He's going up against the Chargers defense that are giving up the most amount of points per game at 31.5. I think Kirk Cousins could be a sneaky option, especially for DFS. We got to pair him up. I think everyone and their mother is going to be pairing him up with, obviously, Justin Jefferson. But we can look at Addison. We can look at Osborne. Maybe Madison. I don't know. I just don't trust Madison a ton right now. But against Philly on Thursday Night Football, threw for 364 yards, 4 tutties, 1 fumble, which was lost, 32.56 fantasy points at 6,500. Now he's only 6,900. His matchup is perfect here against the team that's given up. So they rank dead last in passing. Chargers rank 15th in rushing, which is perfect because Madison's not the best and Kirk doesn't run. And then they rank overall worst for giving up the most amount of fantasy points per game. So absolutely love Kirk. I could see Kirk, he's 6 touchdowns for 1 interception. I could see Kirk moving his way up to 5th by Sunday. So that's definitely something there. I do love me some KIRK here. If you haven't watched quarterback, I highly suggest watching quarterback there. Number 9 is Justin Fields. I don't know about this. He's number 9 right now due to the fact that he's going up against Kansas City's defense. But he came out today, and where's he at? There he is. He came out today saying he was robotic, and he was blaming the coaches. Now, I don't know if that's going to affect the game plan. What Chicago needs to do, whoever the coaches are that oversee this or analytics, need to see that last year when they let him loose and told him not to just be a pocket passer and actually run the ball, then we saw an MVP type candidate. Now, at the beginning of the year, he was getting a lot of money put on him for MVP, which was terrible. Game logs, we can see he's 16.74 to basically just looking at the same here. Had 2 interceptions against Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's defense is pretty good. Going up against Kansas City, they're in the middle. Now, if the game plan is to let Justin just do what he wants to do and run and not just be a pocket passer, he's going to dominate here. This is on the coaches. We know that Justin, if they just let him run and let him do what he wants, he has a fantastic opportunity. We're kind of waiting to see what's going to happen here. So I've got him at number 9 right now. Depending on what happens this week, could see him move down a little bit. We can see, but I have a feeling Kirk Cousins is going to move up quite a bit. And then number 10 is Dak Prescott. It's pretty self-explanatory. Dak's got a fantastic matchup against Arizona, coming off 255 yards. Didn't have to do much in week 1 because they were up 40-0. So he only had 143 yards. Obviously, didn't have to do anything. Obviously had a better start last week because the game was kind of competitive for a little bit. He still threw it up 38 times, 255 yards, 2 touchdowns, ran it 6 times for 14 yards. So he's got a matchup against Arizona. They're giving up 234 yards per average per game. They give up some rushing here, so I love Dak a little bit more if he'll get a little bit more rushing. And overall, the defense is ranked 19th, which is fantastic. They are bad. Arizona is bad. So I love Dak here at number 10. If you want to see the rest all the way down, click the link in the description for the quarterbacks. And we're going to move on to the running back position. So, running back position for me starts with this dude right here, Tony Pollard. Now, if he can keep the ball in his hands and not fumble it, I love this matchup for him against Arizona. Stacking is what you need to do in DFS. So, a Dak, a Tony Pollard, and depending on which pass catcher is going to go ham this weekend, I love this as one of the top stacks. And that is another thing. We are going to have a video on the stacks for the week. It is part of our cheat sheet, but I want to bring it out from the cheat sheet. So if you have questions, let me know. Try to answer them for you all throughout the week. That's why I wanted to get this video out as early as possible on a Wednesday. But again, come Sunday morning when you wake up, you get your coffee, you get whatever it is to get you going in the morning, and you're getting ready to maybe stinker tinker, or you're getting ready to build your lineups out, or you're trying to do the, start 'em, sit 'em. Come fantasyteamadvisors.com, check out the updated rankings. They're usually updated by 8 a.m. So, that being said, it's usually by 8 a.m. So, looking at this, we've got number 1 is Tony Pollard. Love me some Tony Pollard here going up against Arizona. He's my number 1. Number 2 is Christian McCaffrey. So looking at McCaffrey, it is Thursday Night Football. I do have a bet out there. Here's a free bet you guys can have if you want. I have a same-game parlay of Christian McCaffrey to score 2+ touchdowns plus Daniel Jones to score 1 rushing touchdown. So I've got that out there. We have Christian McCaffrey at number 2. He will obviously be removed from the list come Sunday because he's playing on Thursday Night Football. Number 3 is Derrick Henry. He, going up here, we got Henry. Cleveland's defense, we kind of just look at it. They're good. Not giving much up to the passing. Ryan Tannehill is bad. They rank 3rd overall against rushing, but they haven't faced a rusher capable of Derrick Henry's just stature. But this is a tough matchup for him. And he, last week, it's kind of basically the same. 80 yards last week, 63 the first week. 1 touchdown this past week. No touchdowns in week 1. So he's getting targeted a little bit. But again, it's really dependent on how good or bad Tannehill's going to be. And then we can go from there. But I've got Derrick Henry here at number 3. Number 4 is Bijan Robinson. This is the problem, though. We don't know if it's going to be him or Algier. We don't know who's going to, have the better game. But we've seen it. He's pretty consistent. Had 124 yards last week, averaged 6.5 per attempt. He's involved in the passing games, got 11. He's caught 10 of 11 for one touchdown in week 1, but he's got 20-plus fantasy points. Now he's down $100 from last week, going up against a Detroit defense that overall ranks 22nd. So we got Robinson here at number 4. Number 5 is Travis Etienne Jr. He's kind of on my list right now. He is questionable too, but looking at this, he had cramps last week. 12 attempts for 40 yards. This screwed me because I was all over a Trevor Lawrence, Etienne, Ridley stacks because I thought it was going to be a competitive game. It was not competitive. Once I saw that it wasn't going to be competitive, I took a 2-hour nap with my daughter. So that was my Sunday. But we've got him here. He's got a bounce back matchup here going up against Houston. Now, if he can be involved in the passing game, he can actually get the ball, and the game doesn't get out of hand, and Trevor Lawrence plays like we think Trevor Lawrence can play. I love me some ETN here at number 5. Number 6 is Jahmyr Gibbs. Now, he could move up in the rankings here. Supposedly, like they said last week, he's going to be more involved in the passing game. He's going to be more involved in like a slot receiver and running back. Now, David Montgomery has got a questionable tag. If he is out, then Jahmyr Gibbs is way up there. Didn't practice on Wednesday. He might need a couple of weeks to recover from a thigh bruise. The best case scenario would be if David Montgomery is out, Jahmyr Gibbs could be in store for a good, fantastic game. So we see David Montgomery, identical fantasy point outings there before getting hurt. Then we see our boy Gibbs hopefully gets some more. Last week, we saw him once he got hurt, and the Gibbs came in for a little bit more. 7 attempts, 17 yards, had 9 targets, 7 for 9 for 39 yards. So we already seen an uptick in his attempts were the same, but now hopefully, and not like a person, but I would say, please, David Montgomery, stay hurt for a couple of weeks. Let's get some Jahmyr Gibbs love. He's 6,600. I love this matchup for him. I love Jahmyr Gibbs here at number 6. If, in fact, Montgomery is out, Gibbs might move up to number 4 for me. Number 7 is Kenneth Walker. Really just depends on how Seattle's going to go. You got Kenneth Walker here. We've got a lot of questionable tags, as you can see on DraftKings. We saw a little bit more here. He did go up a little bit in price. Matchup-wise, not the best matchup for running backs, but if he can get going and he can stay in the game, he could be in store for a good game there. Number 8 is Josh Jacobs. He's going to be on a lot of people's lists, and it's not a good list to be on after his performance in week 2, which basically he had 9. This is impressive. I can't remember where I saw this, but he had 9 rushing attempts for -2 yards. Aaron Rodgers had a better rushing output on Sunday at home with an Achilles surgery because he had 0 yards, which is better than -2. 9 for -2 is pretty incredible. But you see he kind of made up for a little bit, not much. 5 for 6 catches, 51 yards. No touchdowns. He is still touchdown-less this year. He has not broken 10 fantasy points this year. Stacking here, I don't know if I'll be stacking. I don't know if Josh Jacobs will make it in my DFS lineups. But as of right now, he's number 8. This can and most likely will change come Sunday. Number 9 is Joe Mixon. We just look at Mixon. Game log-wise, 13.5 there. I don't know what's going on in Cincy. I know they start off slow. I know Joe Burrow got the bag and, he's still nursing an injury. I don't know. I do not know what to expect out of him. In this one, though, he does have a matchup against the Rams defense. They're 24th out of 32 in rushing defense. Overall, they're 6th. So they're not giving up a ton of points per game, but 122 yards. This is his matchup. This is him to lose. So if Burrow is, in fact, not 100%, he still goes out there. Maybe they feed Joe Mixon the ball because they know that the Rams have not stop the run a ton this year. Joe Mixon could be a sneaky option here at 6,500 on DraftKings. And the number 10 is James Cook. We've got Dalvin's brother. We've got James Cook here at 6,400. Game logs coming off a fantastic game against the Raiders. 123 yards on the ground. And you don't really see that normally out of Buffalo. But, I mean, they were up so big they were just running the ball. And he was out there. He's also catching for 36 yards too. So 6,400 against Washington, his matchup here. 10th overall. They're giving up 109 yards per game on the ground. Love me some James Cook to round out the top 10. If you want to see all of them, we've got like 85 plus down below in the description. Then we go on to the wide receivers once it loads. Let me pause it till it loads. All right, so I don't think this should come as any like surprise, but how much I like Kirk Cousins this week, I've got to give it to my man Justin Jefferson here. So I've got him number 1 here against the Los Angeles Chargers defense. That is bad. We're going to dig into it and see how bad they really are. So Justin Jefferson, number 1, he's going to be very expensive. That is obviously 9,300. It's going up against the worst offensive or the defense here. They ranked worst, again, stacking. They give up the most amount of points to the quarterback. They give up the most amount of points overall. Total defense, 31.5. And if you look, they're the worst defense against wide receivers. They're just a very bad defense right now. Justin Jefferson could cook this week. Coming off back-to-back. I mean, look at his yardage. 150 in week 1. 159 in week 2. What are we going to get out of him? He doesn't even have touchdowns yet. That's the thing. He has 20 receptions for 309 yards. He's averaging 28 fantasy points per game, and that doesn't even include a touchdown. So you put in 1 or 2 touchdowns there, he could have a 40-plus game outing here. I absolutely love a Kirk Cousins, Justin Jefferson stack here. Might even throw in Addison. Might even throw in Osborne. It just depends. Now, check back when we do the matchup video. The matchup video is going to probably be an hour plus long, but we're going to dig into even more of these things. So I'm very excited for Justin Jefferson and Kirk Cousins connection on week 3. Very, very excited. Number 2 is TYREEK Hill. Now, Hill, we watched him on Sunday Night Football. We couldn't use him in the main slate, obviously, being Sunday Night Football. Didn't have the best outing. Everyone was on him and Tua because of week 1, and that is what I want to make. That's why I want to make you guys a better DFS player, because people, not you guys, but sharks will attack these people because fish come in, aka newbie players or people that have never played DFS before, or they casually play and they don't use us. They come in and they see, look at him against the Chargers, 215 yards, 2 touchdowns, 47.5 fantasy points. I'm stacking him today. If you want the truth, I was all over a Waddle and Tua stack, and I mentioned it in last week's video. Problem was Sunday Night Football, you had to do the Sunday night. You had to either do the all-day slate for Sunday or the Sunday night, Monday night. And then Waddle ended up getting he went in for a concussion protocol because he hit his head. He was well on his way. I had a Waddle touchdown bet. It obviously didn't go through. But I absolutely love TYREEK Hill here. His matchup-wise against Denver, they give up they're the 16th. They're half. So half of the teams are better than them in defense. Half of the teams of them are worse on defense this year. But looking at this, if you look at their rank here, they rank 22nd against the wide receiver position this year. Now, you can find all of this. You'll find all of this in our matchup tool. If you go to fantasyteamadvisors.com and you click on the NFL tab, or you hover over the NFL tab and go down here to our Bacon Station, that is our matchups. And we're have a video on that, so don't you worry about that. But looking at this, TYREEK Hill comes in at number 2. Number 3 is Stephon Diggs. We can kind of see, you never really know what you're going to get out of Diggs because he's a prima donna, it seems like. Something's always wrong with him. It's always someone else's fault. But week 1, he had a really good game against the Jets. Week 2 against Vegas, caught all 7 of his targets, only 66 yards. So 8,000, he got his 13.6. Now he's going up against Washington. Washington overall is 10th defense overall, but they rank 25th against the wide receiver position. So if you're stacking, obviously you're stacking. Honestly, I love a Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, James Cook stack in this one. think that's going to go a little bit under-owned. I think everyone's going to be on Kansas City, which they're probably going to be on Kansas City most of the year. It seems like it's just a trend how it happens. Kansas City has one bad game. They come back and win a game. Then everyone's on them the rest of the year. I'm kind of liking Stephon Diggs here. Number 4 is Davante Adams. We know that Davante Adams had a fantastic game last week. 20.4 fantasy points, had 84 yards and a touchdown. Obviously, not fantastic, I guess, but he did get that touchdown. He did cash the touchdown parlay that he was part of. So he is in there. We'd obviously love to see a 100-yard game out of him. He is going to be against Pittsburgh. The matchup overall, though, the defense is 30th so far in 2 games. Against the wide receiver position, they're 20th. So they're bottom tier against the wide receiver. And obviously Davante Adams is that wide receiver one that's going to get the most love from Jimmy. So we know what we're going to expect out of them. So that is why I have Davante Adams here at number 4. Number 5 is CeeDee Lamb. Again, it's going to be part of a stack. Lamb will always be part of a stack with Dak. I think that's how it's going to go, the Dak attack stack. Last week against the Jets, 11 for 13, had 143 yards, so he was targeted 13 times. Again, they were up a little bit. He did have a fumble, though, but he still had 28.3 fantasy points, and now he's in a fantastic matchup. Overall, Arizona defense is 19th. Against a wide receiver, they're 13th. He's pretty much matchup proof. So, absolutely love CeeDee Lamb there, coming in at number 5. Number 6 is Amon-Ra St. Brown. Now, he does have a questionable tag. He's got a toe injury. He's day-to-day. He won't participate in practice. Don't know if he's going to participate all week. But looking at that, I do have him here. Coming off 100 yards there. Now he gets an Atlanta defense that overall they're ranked 3rd. Against the wide receiver, they're actually ranked 5th. So this is one to monitor. This will probably move up and down depending if he practices at all this week. I kind of, if he's not going to be in or he's not going to be 100%, I think you could pivot DFS-wise to Josh Reynolds. So number 7 is Jamar Chase. This one is very contingent on Joe Burrow. People are starting to flock away from Jamar Chase. He's still 8,000. His matchup against the Rams, they ranked 8th overall against wide receivers so far this year. Has not done anything this year. Has not gotten over 40 yards. He has 1 rushing attempt. It's probably an end around. I haven't seen it. This is very contingent on how Joe Burrow goes. Obviously, if Joe Burrow's not going, Jamar Chase isn't going to catch a ball that's not thrown to him. So this is very indicative. We know how good Jamar Chase is. A lot of people took him 2 overall. A lot of those people are panicking right now. They are buying low, or they are selling low on this dude, season-long wise. But, we know he's the number 1 wide receiver on the team. We know that he's going to have a breakout game. Overall, this defense, it might not be the best game for him, but again, it really depends. If you're playing PPR, if you're playing standard, and it will really depend on how Joe Burrow does. So, Joe Burrow, is he injured? Is he okay? What's going on? Again, we'll wait throughout the week. If Joe Burrow news kind of goes down a little bit and he's not 100% healthy or proven he's not 100% healthy, Jamar Chase could see himself outside the top 10 this week, maybe even top 15. Really just depends on how practice goes for them this week. Number 8 is A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown. I have him in a lot of my season-long leagues. Game logs, it's not been the best. 29 yards in week 1 in a matchup that saw a ton of points go for Minnesota and the Eagles. He had 6 targets. He had 29 yards. He's averaging 10.9 at 7,700. It's just looking like right now it's Devonta Smith is the number 1 wide receiver here. We'll still look at it. Obviously, if you're into stacking, DFS-wise, I'm okay with that. But again, that's why number 9 is Devonta Smith. So they're very close. Don't be surprised if A.J. Brown finds himself outside the top 10 come Sunday. So love Devonta Smith here. He just looks like he's number 1 target for Jalen Hurts when he's not running the ball. That's kind of where we're at right now. Number 10, is Calvin Ridley. Now, Ridley should have had a touchdown last week. I was all over Ridley with a Jacksonville stack. 5.2 yards, wasn't going to do it. Had only 2 receptions and 8 targets. He wasn't catching the ball. For whatever reason, after 8 for 11, 101 yards and a touchdown in week 1, kind of nothing happened there. 32 yards against them. Now he's got a matchup against Houston. They do rank 9th overall against the wide receivers. But if we dig into the numbers a little bit more, they rank 11th overall here. They're giving up 28 points per game here. I think we come back strong here. I think Calvin Ridley has a bounce back week. That's why I've got him at number 10. And then tight ends real quick. Obviously, KELCE. We've got to see him do better than he did last week. I believe he caught 4 for 29, which is not enough. But he is obviously, with this offense, there's not a ton of people that Mahomes feels comfortable with outside of KELCE. So game logs, 9 targets, only reeled in for 4 yards, 4 receptions for 26 yards, but did have a touchdown. We look at this. Should be good to go. I shouldn't be any problem. I think he's probably going to have his fair share of targets every single week until Mahomes trusts other people. He's got a matchup against Chicago. They rank 12th overall, or 12th against the tight end position. Overall, their defense is bad. If Mahomes goes, if you got Mahomes in a lineup, you got to have Travis KELCE in a lineup as well. Wouldn't be surprised if KELCE gets 2+ touchdowns here. We always know he's good for a 3-touchdown game every so often. This matchup here just feels it's at home. The weather, I believe, is good. Let's see. No, there's going to be a little bit of rain. As of now, there's rain. Obviously, it is Wednesday, so we've got time. But I have a feeling KELCE sees pay dirt at least 2 times this week. So I've got him at number 1. Number 2 is TJ Hawkinson. Love me some Hawk. Love this matchup for him because of how bad this Chargers defense is. So I do have him at number 2. He is ranked number 2 on DraftKings at 6,500. Same thing with Mark Andrews going up against Indy. Mark Andrews has an 18th ranked defense against him. Looking at last week, 5 for 8 for 45 yards and a touchdown. He was part of that Davante Adams that touchdown parlay that DraftKings gave out that actually hit. I don't know if you also saw it, but there was a parlay that every 1 p.m. game, each team would score at least a touchdown and a field goal, which I don't know how long it's been since that happened, but someone won. There was a bettor that put $1,000 down. They won $200,000 because it was plus 20,000 at the beginning. I guess the odds were plus $40,000 or plus 40,000. So if you put $100 down, you had a fantastic time. Yeah, it's crazy. But anyway, we're on to week 3. Mark Andrews, first game back after 1 game injury, 15.5 fantasy points there. Going up against Indy overall, they rank 25th on defense. I've got him at number 3. Number 4 is Darren Waller. It's kind of following. Honestly, I built these out. I didn't even look at DraftKings for the pricing. We got Darren Waller number 4. This one, it just depends. This is a Thursday night football game, so come Sunday, this won't be here. But we can see his game log coming off a good game there. He's going to have an injury designation pretty much all year. But if you're not playing Thursday night, Darren Waller does not matter at number 4. Number 5 is George Kittle. Same thing. It's Thursday night. Most likely you're not playing Thursday through Monday or Thursday through Sunday. So number 6 is Sam LaPorta. I love Sam LaPorta here. As you can see, we dropped down. He's 4,000. Game logs coming off 63 yards there, 39 before that, but he's getting targeted. Jared Goff loves to target him. He's going up against Atlanta's defense, which they are pretty stingy this year so far, but they rank 20th against the tight end. Number 7 is Dallas Goedert. We look at Dallas Goedert, 4,700. Not the best. He's been struggling a little bit. There's just so many mouths to feed here in Philly that he gets lost in the mix a little bit. He's going to have those games where he's good, but as of right now, I've got him here at number 7. Number 8 is Evan Ingram. Again, this will really be dependent on how Jacksonville goes and how he gets, it's going to be Trevor Lawrence. But we saw 57 yards out of him week 2. We saw 49 yards out of him in week 1. And Houston is 15th against the tight end. Number 9 is Pat Freiermuth. Excuse me. He is down here at 3,600 against Vegas. Hasn't done much, though. That's the problem. Could be, he would only be part of a stack. I don't see me playing Pat naked out there. He wouldn't be a tight end. I'd just throw in there in every lineup. And then number 10 is David NJOKU. Now, this really depends on the game plan. Obviously, Chubb is out for a while. That was maybe one of the grossest videos I've ever seen of his knee injury. They brought in Kareem Hunt, but he'll probably be out. Then you got Jerome Ford. That's going to be taken over for at least week 1 or one more week. But we did see NJOKU had 48 yards, caught all 4 of his targets, but he had a fumble, which did cost him fantasy points. He was 7,800 there. Now he's going up against Tennessee. Tennessee here, if you look at it, they ranked 13th overall against the tight end. So more of a tournament-only play for me there. So that is the top 10. And then defenses, it's pretty much a crapshoot for defenses. You've got the Cowboys number 1 against Arizona. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. You've got Thursday Night Football 49ers going up against the Giants there. Chiefs against Chicago, all on DraftKings. But we've got Cowboys 1, Chiefs 2, 49ers 3, Philly 4. Number 5 is the Patriots. Number 6 are the Bills. 7 are the Jets. 8 is the Baltimore Ravens. 9, the Cleveland Browns. And number 10, the Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Houston Texans. So there you have it. There are the rankings. Quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, and defense. If you want to see all of them, they will be linked down below. Again, hit the bell notification so you know when we go live or when these videos go live so you can check these videos out. Again, get those likes up on these videos. The more likes, the more chances you have to win free content brought to you by FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. And that's what I've got for week 3 rankings. Good luck this week. And as always, let's bring home some bacon. Peace.